It's that Tru Chronicles, it's that Tru Chronicles. Yeah, we on your talking shit, we on your talking truth, we ain't telling no lies, we speaking all this guys. On that Tru Talk, on that Tru Talk, the Tru Chronicles, the Tru Chronicles. Just talking shit, just talking shit, just talking shit,
What's going on? Like, I hope your day's been going good. Hope all is well. Hope you've been taking care of yourself. First off and foremost, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Tru Chronicles. I'm your host, Straight of Truth. Welcome. Episode 10. We are here. Give it up for yourself. Hanging in with me to episode 10. I appreciate you. And if you're new here, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining us, where this podcast here is all about you. Yes, it's all about you. And we're all about authenticity and transparency. Yeah, just a little disclaimer. We get real. We dive deep. We talk about real shit, truth. And, authenticity reigns supreme here, most definitely. So thank you for tuning in, and just sit back and relax and just vibe with us. And we got a good one. Got a good episode. We're going to dive deep into a nice topic. But before we do, I want you to go ahead and, roll up. Go ahead, pull up something and get as relaxed as you possibly can as we dive deep into the topic. And what I want to talk about in this episode, the topic being, is relationships. Yes, relationships. So let's talk about it. And relationships are so, I feel as though like relationships today are, there's a good and a bad to relationships. And we all have been there. We all have been in relationships that have had the duality of good and bad. You had good relationships you've been in. You had bad relationships you've been in. But relationships overall are lessons. They are lessons. They are experiences. And they're nothing more than just that. We come across each other in a world where some have to go through 10 or more, experiences with somebody just before they match with that right individual, meaning your soulmate. See, I believe in soulmates. I know there's other versions, that exist, but I believe in soulmates. I believe in you finding that match of the same alike energy like yourself that you have been here with before. Like you feel it in a way where it's like, this feels so familiar to me. Like, this can't be just a person that I'm with for the first time. No, this feels too familiar. Like, we done this a couple of times, where there is such thing as reincarnated past love. That there is a such thing as you being reincarnated in love back with somebody that you were originally with before. And that's where I lie within the soul and the spirit. You know me, I'm more for my spirit and not my flesh. So relationships for me today, when it comes to the bad part, we'll jump into the bad part. When it comes to the bad part of relationships, I feel as though relationships are so westernized to the point where we're not even enjoying relationships that we are in. We're not enjoying them. We're not. I feel as though relationships come with too much of a task, and it just literally comes with a fucking checklist that we have to make sure it's checked all the way the fuck off. We got to make sure that our, the person that we're with is always happy, or we have to check off that we have everything in order with ourselves, and we have to check off where we have to make sure that the other person is fulfilled. It's so much where the checklist is not for yourself, but it's for the other person. Vice versa, the person having a checklist for you. So it's more attention played on one another than yourselves. And here's my take. I feel as though you can't truly love somebody like you want to love them if you don't love yourself first. See, because when you love yourself, everything outside you will have to stand the test of time of that. Like, how long can this person, how long can they keep up with me? Because I have all the love for myself, but it's on them. Like, how long can they stick with me? Like, because believe me, I'm in a boat all by myself, and I'm sharing this boat with them. But I have been in my boat doing me before they came. So it's like, how long can they deal with me? Because even if shit goes south, I'm gonna be right back to being where I was from, square root one. And that is where it's important to have that. It's important to love yourself first, because you'll get in a relationship with somebody and you'll fall head over heels for somebody that you fucked with. And depending on when you throw out a love spell, when you cast each other in a spell and you fall head over heels for each other, you soon start to see that it's not even love for me any longer. I don't have any love for myself any longer, because I gotta love this person more than myself. I gotta give more attention to them, because the moment you're in a relationship with somebody and they don't feel like they're getting attention, what happens? Like, you don't pay me no attention, or you don't ever do nothing for me, or it's always these playouts that literally express that the other person isn't being fulfilled, or they're not getting what they need from you. See what I mean? They're needing you to fill them up, and where you'll feel the same way because you'll need them to fill you up. And that's where that can be of that controlling factor when you're in a relationship with somebody that you're pouring more into, and having them vice versa pour into you as well. You're controlling how you want the love to be directed from both ends. Where when you know that love is upright in yourself, there could be no direction outwards to one another. Because I don't have no means to fucking have you. I don't have no means to look to you to give what you can to me, because I already can give it to myself, and I'm already good in my stance versus her as well. And that is where relationship itself becomes a jury of, it just becomes the judge that hands demands and rules upon your freedom of sovereignty. You are free as a sovereign free spirit. Like it's your birthright to be free. But the downside of relationships is that that's taken away once you're in a relationship with somebody that is labeled your girlfriend, and you're labeled, she's labeling you as her boyfriend. And what goes from there is the fact that now there's this implication that you both are held to a standard to each other. You have obligations to him and you have obligations to her. And that's where the fall of the relationship starts, because no matter what you do thus far, every move you make will be clocked by her. And every move she makes, you will be clocking her. And even for the relationships that give much space to one another, if there is still not an incorporation of love for yourself, you will still feel entitled to have her tell or do or check in with you, vice versa, you to her. So, and it's like, when you look at it, before you get in a relationship with somebody, where are you before you get in a relationship with somebody? Aren't you just, you're doing you, right? We come to that. We come to know before we in a relationship with somebody, we're doing us. You could be doing it. Excuse me. I had to burp there. But you could be doing everything before you get into a relationship with somebody, and then it all changes, doesn't it? You could just be chilling. You could be doing all the regular shit that you do, because that is your sovereignty right there present. You're being free to what you want to do. But then when you get into a relationship, it's almost like the handcuffs are coming. Because now, things that you used to do, this person, they wasn't around for none of this. And if you didn't keep it up front with them in the beginning, knowing that even if you keep it up front, there's not going to be, there's going to be a point where that's going to be uncomfortable for the person you with. They're going to find some uncomfort in it in some sort of way, or they're going to try to critique it just a bit, like a small bit, to the point where it's like, okay, you can keep doing that, but why don't you just bring it down just a little bit? And it's those type of things that it's like you're not having all of your free will and free, you're not being able to choose the freedom to do what you want to do before then, because you're held to a certain standard when you're dealing with somebody up close and you are within that bond, that shackling bond between each other, to the point where she expects from you and you expect from her. If she was somebody to be, before she got with you, she used to go to the park with her male best friend all the time, go swimming with him. And then you happen to get a relationship with her, and here you are, saying that ain't happening no more. I'm going with you. You see that you come to her, and you see that that's something that's bothering you. You can't do that no more. You can't go to the park with him. No, you can't be doing all that. And in a way, it's like she was freely doing that before she came to be with you. And there's changes. Even if somebody doesn't get to that point of being like, oh, okay, you can go ahead and I don't care about that. She can do all that. Even if you come comfortable to that, you still will find something else that she did when she was free doing it, and you will want to change or critique it, or want to see her do this different, so it doesn't really bother you as much. Even it could be just something as small as her having a whole bunch of dudes in her phone, you would still find it being like, damn, all these dudes in your phone, you know what I'm saying? These is family, these is friends, these people that I hung out before I met you. And that's just how that is. And you'll find it to be like, damn, like, I'm saying, like, this is, you'll probably push it off like it's not bothering you, but it's gonna bother you. Because when you're dealing with somebody that close to you, you're around them, they're around you. Y'all bonded, shackly bond together. Vice versa to her, you could be somebody who played a game all day and doing this was you, and then she come around and be like, why don't you get off that game and give me some attention? Because she's gonna want you to see her and what she needs. She's gonna want you to pour into her, just like you're gonna want her to pour into you. And there's what's left to be hanging on, with its back up against the wall. It's that self-love. The self-love brings in self-observance, I can't get this word out. It brings in I might butcher the word. Preservations. I might butcher that, but don't. I probably butchered that. So hey. But it brings in like that self-righteousness of your relationship, okay? And when you are in that state of knowing that I take self-love into account, you and her, then that truly is where you unlock that freedom to both of you and are able to truly be unlocked from flesh. And then no worries can implicate at all to a person and their actions, because at the end of the day, when you know you're a free sovereign being and it's your right to be free and you can do what you want to do. But see, there's two types of people. You got the ones that are going to do, but you have the ones that are going to reflect to the action of what they do before they do it. They're going to think before they do. You got the doers that do, you have the ones that think before they do. So if a person is going to do something with their freedom of will to do, they're going to do it. They're going to just do it. But those that know that I have the freedom to do this, I can do this, but they're going to think before they do it. And that's holding more accountability for themselves and reflecting more with their actions. So yeah, that is the bad side of relationships to me. But the good side to relationships is the fact that when you get to that point, let's say when you get to the point of having self-love and you're in a relationship, that is where relationships get to really thrive the best. When there is no chains, when there is no stipulations, where there is no restrictions, where there is no, there isn't a form of regulation between the two. You're free to know that you have your own squares. You come together in a mutual square, but you never leave your squares. It's like you pack up your squares and you go into this new mutual square that has both of your squares in it. And you steal yourselves. You never lose that. It's like, I'm not picking up to come over here and change nothing you got going on. And you not picking up to come over here and change nothing I got fucking going on. We just both here existing in this experience that we are, having together. And that right there is a very, very good thing. Like, for you to have a relationship where the experience of both of you are met in a way where no one is wanting to ruin or perfect or even control this experience, but you're letting it just exist. It's just one of the better, gooder, it's a better and more profound and good way of looking at relationships. And that's where it lies. Relationships really lie within that free sovereignness. Because that, to me, is a relationship. Because it's not a relationship that deals as a contract. It doesn't deal as a bondmanship. Like, there isn't a form of trying to shackle two people together to be tied down in flesh, because we are flesh to be flesh when we are together, but we know that we don't see flesh. It's energy. You base everything off a person's energetic behavior. The energy will always dictate what isn't dictated in flesh. So if your energy is bad, then obviously you're doing bad. If the energy is good, if the energy is warm, if the energy is felt, then it's right. It's good. Because a person who knows themselves, they're going to know how to exalt their energy rightfully. So no bumping heads, no getting on this person, no getting on that person. And a lot of what goes into these type of the more, pure relationships is that there's maturity and there's freedom of space, like always. Like, to know that you're doing you, I'm doing me. We hold each other accountable, but the accountability is really held on yourself. Like, if you know a person ain't checking for you, ain't giving you all, like letting you be you out here back on your own square. You back out here on your own, really. So it's like, when you make decisions and the other person ain't checking on your decisions and whatnot, you really are the one that must truly make the right decisions when they're not even looking at you or looking to check for you. So what you do is really going to reflect to your energy, and it will show off when the energy isn't right. But hey, let's bring it down, okay? I want to just say this has been a good episode, really good episode. And I really want to give gratitude to you and you listening. I want to say, and also want to give this gratitude to those out there that's in a relationship, being one that is on the side of really reflecting more with your energy and things of that nature. So I also want to say thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Tru Chronicles. I am your host, Straight of Truth. Hold on, we have the instrumental of the day coming up. I want you to sit back, relax, and just vibe with me as we close this bitch out, okay? I will see you in the very next episode.